This is episode number 38, Opportunities for Startups in Creator Economy. For all those who do not know me, my name is Dilnawaz Khan. I'm the founder of Co-Design Labs and PowerDeck. And if you are here for the first time, let me tell you, AMA with DNK is my weekly Saturday night live show, Saturday show where I come and talk about startups, entrepreneurship, and the world of business, and especially about things that you and I should care about, maybe being an entrepreneur, maybe being a student, maybe being an aspiring entrepreneur. And these are the things I can assure you will help you and me in becoming a better entrepreneur and a better professional, right? And also, as always, if you have any questions, please make sure you ask your question in the live chat. The live chat is open. Talk, interact, comment, and let me know that you are already there. So any questions, please make sure you post them in the live chat, and I will try and answer them for you in the end. In today's session, in today's conversation, what is that we're going to talk about? Number one, we are going to talk about opportunities for startups in creator economy. So if you are a student, as I said, if you're a student, if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, if you are already a professional, or if you are somebody who is excited by the creative economy, personal branding, what's happening on the internet currently, if you're excited about that, we have done quite a few episodes on those topics, but tonight we'll explore the overlap between how can you build a startup into this particular space. So we'll be talking about that. Second, this is the second part is the one which is going to give you tons and tons of knowledge and information. Startups that are already in this space, I will take you through a couple of case studies, couple of startups. If you know about them, fantastic. If you do not know about them, don't worry. I will give you enough information, enough knowledge about all of these companies you should know about, which are already doing fantastic work in startup ecosystem space. And last but not the least, folks, models, business models that you can look at. If you, as I say, as I always say, my work is for aspiring entrepreneurs and even early stage entrepreneurs. So if you are somebody who's already into this space, I will tell you a couple of business models and opportunities that you can go and apply into your own business, right? So yes, so quickly summarizing all together, we'll be looking at opportunities for startups in create economy space. We'll be looking at startups that are already performing well into this space, and I can assure you, you will learn tons of information here. And last but not the least, I will give information on business models that you can implement and on your own startup. So before we begin the conversation, please, folks, make sure you like the video and you subscribe the channel. So if you're excited, please make sure you like the video, because when you like, YouTube algorithm pushes the content, pushes it to more people, and tell the audience in general that this is the content worth watching. So please make sure you like the video and also subscribe the channel, right? Also, if you want to stay in touch with me or stay connected, please feel free to follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn. All of my social media handles are attached in my description below. So please make sure you go and do that. And last but not least, once again, if you have any questions during the conversation, other than the conversation we're doing around startups, around entrepreneurship, around pitching, around funding, more than happy to answer them for you on this live. So please make sure you drop them in the live chat. And once again, thank you so much for joining me on this session, right? So let me quickly, first of all, address all those who have joined in. There are a couple of 10, 12 people watching us. Ivanshu, Harshit, Prasoon, Tilakraj, Mukul, Clive. Hey, folks, thank you so much for being here. And before we talk about today's conversation, and this is something that happened today evening when I was preparing for this. I'm not sure how many of you know about this, but before we talk about today's topic, let's talk about LinkedIn, folks, right? And I'm sure everybody has been using LinkedIn, but something very strange, something very exciting happened today evening when I opened the LinkedIn on my mobile phone. And I'm sure a few of you have seen this icon on your LinkedIn mobile, which says that you can record your name, because now, because LinkedIn is such a big platform, it's an international platform, people don't even know how to pronounce each other's name, and it gives you an option to record your name so that people know how to pronounce it. In fact, a few smart people, and I'm not saying I am one of them, in fact, I have learned it, that LinkedIn gives you 30 seconds, and a lot of people record not just their name but a message. Should I show you what have I recorded? I'm not sure how many of you like that, but see, this is what my LinkedIn uh like the voice note says. So hear this. Dilnawaz Khan. Hey, thanks for checking my profile. Press the follow button if you are an entrepreneur or a startup founder, and also do check out the featured section to know more about the cool stuff I do. Sounds cool, right? So I have also learned it, right? But it's always good to learn and share, right? That's why we do this live. So this 30 seconds give an opportunity to tell people in the audio format who you are and why should they bother following you. Fantastic way of building community, building following. But do you know what's much more exciting than this? See the screen, right? Other than the wave button thing, right? If you see on the right side of the screen, LinkedIn has introduced something called as creators mode. Right now, you can turn on the creator mode on your profile on LinkedIn, and if on the left side, if you see, there is, you can see how many followers do I have and how many connections do I have. So by default, when you turn on the creator mode on LinkedIn, LinkedIn puts the follow button as a default feature on your profile and also shows how many followers do you have. LinkedIn is pivoting towards creators economy, folks. If this does not excite you, I don't know what will excite you, right? LinkedIn is such a big platform, and they are now trying to play around creator and creators economy. So in 2003, when LinkedIn started, it was like a recruitment platform. HRs and professionals and companies were using it, and it was primarily for job seekers. Then in last 5 years, we saw a major shift and major transformation on LinkedIn, where it became more from a recruitment platform to a personal branding platform to a reputation building platform to a social networking platform to a hardcore professional networking platform where people started creating content. And 2021, LinkedIn is pivoting to be now called as a creators platform. And I'm sure in coming days, LinkedIn will allow you to monetize your profile. LinkedIn will allow you to maybe bring in more monetization tools, and LinkedIn will bring in something that will help creators to create more content. Let me take you back to the previous slide. Do you also, can you see this line on top of this circle where it says talks about funding, pitching, startups, pitch decks, and entrepreneurship? LinkedIn also allows you to do that now. So when you turn on the creator mode, LinkedIn allows you to select 5 or 6, rather not let me correct myself, not 5 or 6, specifically 5 or less sectors you can talk about. Now, if you go to any of my profile, this is what I talk about. The entire YouTube channel is built around this, right? I talk about startups, entrepreneurship, pitching, pitch deck funding, and these are the only area of expertise I have. So guys, all those who are watching, if this excites you, drop a comment, let me know if this is new to you. Also, if this is something you know now, go and make sure you turn on the creator mode on LinkedIn and start building your profile around it. And please make sure you share this video with your friends. I'm sure this will help a lot of people who have not explored this. So make sure you utilize your uh, voice pronunciation icon in the best way possible. Utilize those 30 seconds to convey the message. And also, please make sure you turn on the creator mode on and use that to leverage LinkedIn for building the personal brand. All right. So summarizing all of this, LinkedIn has done a major pivot, and this is LinkedIn for you in 2021, right? I hope this will give you some sort of perspective, some sort of insight, which I cannot emphasize enough on, that folks, creators economy is for everybody. Do not miss on this opportunity. Do not miss on this bandwagon. I literally don't care. So I'm not a huge creator, right? I do live once in a week, which I'm now trying to do more often. I used to create content earlier, but now I'm trying to be more regular because I am an entrepreneur first. I have 2 full-time businesses, and I'm not a creator first, and this is purely out of passion. And I'm trying to cope up more and more and try and build more content. But even if you do one post a week, even if you do one post a day, even if you do one post a month or one video a month, that is more than enough. The consistency is the key. The content is the key. Try and make that. Please. Creator economy is for everybody, and this is the next big thing. In next 5 years, this will not just change the world but change the careers, right? So basically, the point I'm trying to make here is, if you still don't know about creators economy, if you still want to learn more about a personal brand, how the personal brand will feed the creators economy, and creators economy eventually will feed the digital content creation cycle and influencer cycle and all of that, please folks make sure you watch the last 3 episodes as well. Building a personal brand, creator economy and influencer marketing, and everything about audio platforms, where I've primarily spoken about podcasting and Clubhouse. And on that note, I'm super active on Clubhouse as well. I am hosting multiple sessions on Clubhouse. If you do not follow me in Clubhouse, you just have to search by my name, go and follow me on Clubhouse. And if you don't want to create content on any of the platforms, just start making content on Clubhouse, right? Fantastic. So this is more or less on what LinkedIn has to offer to all of us. This is more or less on the creators economy, influencer marketing, building a personal brand. And my only closing remark on this particular piece of information is start creating content. All right. So the next topic I want to talk to all of you is monetization in creative economy from simple to complex. Now, how can you make money? Because until and unless you don't figure out how to monetize maybe yourself or things in general out there, it will be difficult for you to start even building and monetization. The moment you start thinking about monetization, you also start thinking about business models, right? You can always monetize a business model. So let's first talk about how creators make money. And then once you have cracked the model of or understood the model how creators make money, then you will also be able to understand how can you build a layer on top of it and start making money as a startup founder, or rather find an opportunity or a gap or a problem which you can solve, so that you can build something for the creators or for the brands or other parties involved in this entire dynamics. And of course, make money for yourself and build your own startup, right? So if you're excited, once again, comment and let me know. So let's begin the conversation. Monetization in creators economy, from very, very, very simple method to the complex. So and the reason why I say from simple to complex is because I've arranged them in a order where even if you have 5 followers or 5 people liking your content and loving your content, you can start monetizing from there in itself. You don't need a minimum benchmark of X number of watch hours, X number of followers, or X number of subscribers, and so on and so forth, right? So you can even monetize one follower you have, right? And also, based on the value you deliver, the quality of work you do, the niche you are in, that will determine the size of ultimately people who are going to follow you. So if you look at a stand-up comic, there'll be 50,000 people or a lakh people or 5 lakh people following him. But if you look at, let's say, a startup channel, right, there'll be pretty much less people following that guy. So you have to figure out also, and you'll have to see a very clear cut differentiate between a consumer and a creator. That is a different topic altogether. We'll talk about that later on. But the bottom line is, even if you have 5 followers or 10 followers, 20 followers, or 50 followers, you can start monetizing them. And let us look at the methods of monetization from simple to complex. All right. So the first method is very, very simple, is as simple as affiliate marketing, right? So you can always do affiliate marketing via Amazon, via slide share, if I'm not wrong with the company's name. So basically the point is, there's so many companies that allow you to generate and create affiliate market links. And affiliate marketing, the very simple model is, if you give referral to XYZ company, they will give you a certain percentage of the transaction that happens on their platform. So the best example is Amazon, right? For example, if you also go to my YouTube description, I have listed down all the products, and I'm being very transparent and honest here, right? I have listed down all the products that I use to, or all the tools that I use to build my YouTube channel: my monitor, my laptop, my mic, my chair, my keyboard, my equipment. I've put in all those information, and I have put those links via Amazon affiliate model. So the thing is, you don't lose money when you buy from those links, but the creator makes some sort of money when somebody buys. It's more like a token of appreciation that they get from the platform, that hey, you referred this guy to me, and thank you so much. Here's a 2%, 1% transaction, part of the transaction fee, as a token of appreciation. So no matter what stage you are in, you can always start affiliate marketing, and it's a great way of making money. Not a very sustainable model. You need, in fact, less than 1% people will transact. So of course, you need you need a critical mass to make sure you have enough money coming from affiliate marketing, but the starting point can also be one, right? So even if you're one person watching it, affiliate marketing does not need, or does not creates a barrier that you need to have minimum x number of people following you, right? So affiliate marketing is a fantastic model. You can learn more and more on Google search, read about it, and you can start with affiliate marketing, right? Second is merchandising, right? That is like a super simple model. Every Sorry, my bad, every famous creator, every famous internet personality, right from your Mr. Beast to your Tanmay Bhatt to your Biswa to your Akash Banerjee to your Bhuvan Bam, if you, or for that matter Gary Vaynerchuk, right? He's a very different personality altogether, right? Anybody who is a creator on the internet, if he has a certain following, and when the followers like the person, he can always merchandise or release merchandise. It can be caps, hats, mugs, whatever XYZ, and you can always sell merchandise, and it's again a great model. The only problem with merchandising is, I have run a merchandising business myself. It is very difficult to break even in B2C model. Therefore it's a separate topic altogether. If you like, and if you want me to talk more on merchandising, on how can you create a successful merchandising company, what are the pitfalls, what are the good things, bad things, ugly things, I can talk about it later on. So let me know in the comments if you want me to do a dedicated video on merchandising, drop shipping, and so on and so forth. But the lowest hanging fruit is, you can always go and do merchandising as a creator, and you can always sell to your followers, right? That's second method of monetizing. Third is, of course, which almost everybody knows, is advertising or platform partnerships. For this, that this is where you need a critical mass, right? So for YouTube, for example, you need to have minimum of 1,000 subscribers, which is super easy to get, but you then need at least 4,000 watch hours in last 1 year, right? So for successful YouTubers, these 4,000 watch hours are a matter of a day. You can, if you have, let us say, if you have 40,000 people subscribing your channel, or even 4,000 people subscribing your channel, and if you have only 1 hour of content on your platform, and if everybody watches your video, you can make this 4,000 watch hours in a day, right? So very, very simple. 4,000 watch hours are not a big deal for anybody. In fact, 1,000 subscribers is the easier number to get. When you're starting, 4,000 watch hours will be difficult, and then later on you can always this number will compound eventually over time. The only thing is, YouTube advertising will not give you enough money initially, and as like any other thing in the world, it will compound over a period of time. So the only downside of advertising platform partnership is that it will have it will only happen when you have a critical mass on your side, and with certain terms and conditions. YouTube allows you to monetize by platform partnerships. YouTube now has something called as super chat. I'll come on to that later. YouTube also has a membership model, which is again a part of creator economy, subscription economy. And then Facebook also has a paid creator program. So all of these advertising and platform partnerships can happen, and then of course you can go and do something called as brand deals. Now brand deals again will only happen when you have significant number of people following you. So other than getting advertisement on your platform, on your channel via YouTube, sometimes brand reach the creator, reach the influencer directly, and that's called brand deals. In fact, now if you go on Instagram, you can go on YouTube, you will find a lot of videos clearly mentioning in their profile paid promotion, right? So that is basically a brand deal. So brand deal basically is a great way of monetizing your content, for a very simple reason that in this case, the commission of the platform is gone, and therefore you are you make more money. But brand deals again is for a creator who has got significant amount of following, or maybe you're a super niche player. So tomorrow, even if I have 1,000 subscribers, or technically 1,700 subscribers, I can also sign up a brand deal with a company which is hardcore into startups, because all my audience is startup guys, right? So I can also do a brand deal. It depends upon what kind of creator are you. So if you are a stand-up comic, you will need lakhs of followers, because then you will be approached by a company which is into consumer products. If you are a small creator, if you are a niche creator, then you of course go and sign up a brand deal. Again, brand deal is a different ball game altogether, and it depends upon the product you're selling, the audience you have, and so on and so forth, right? So these are primarily four methods. The fifth one is channel and platform sponsorships. So a lot of platforms and channels eventually then will take away the exclusive rights of your content. The best example, and but for this you have to be really really big and really really known and really really famous, and this takes a lot of time. Sorry, my bad. This takes a lot of time. So the biggest example for this is the $100 million deal of Joe Rogan podcast with Spotify, right? So this is the biggest thing there, but it takes too much of time. It's too exclusive, and this will take the most of the time, and it's a rarity in the creators economy. But two modern methods which are now also not just the part of creators economy but also the part of subscription economy, and this will take us down the trail of modern methods of monetization. The number one is paid subscriptions. So you as a creator, you as an influencer, you as a content creator can always ask your subscribers to pay you, and not just if you have a minimum number of subscribers. So typically, unlike your advertising or YouTube super chat or YouTube membership, I can always go and explore a parallel option like a Patreon or buy me a coffee. And I can give my followers and my subscribers some sort of exclusive deal, which I am also launching after 1 month, right? After 1 month, on 4th of July, I will officially complete 1 year of this YouTube channel. And I am planning something very, very special. I will basically put out mentor hours. I will put out office hours. I will also put out a membership model as well. We are still contemplating it, and a lot of great content coming your way. A lot of stuff is in pipeline. So paid subscription is something you guys can start tomorrow also. So even if you have 10 subscribers and if they feel like that you are doing something great, something fantastic, and if they want to kind of get in touch in a deeper sense with you, you can always do paid subscription. I think in my last video I also spoke about this a bit, that if even if you are a audio guy, there's a method to monetize it. If you are a textual guy, you can write newsletters. Substack is there to monetize it. If you are a video guy, you can make creator videos, you can make YouTube videos and Instagram reels, and you can monetize by Patreon or buy me a coffee. So enough platforms are there in this space, right? So that's more or less on the paid subscription side. And last but not least, you can also launch courses, course coaching or consulting, right? So you can always create a course, you can always start teaching back, and you can always start a one-on-one consultancy. So even if you have 5 people who are following you, you can always offer one-on-one consultancy. Now this all, if you combine all of this together, this all can be done by the individual guy, but more the number of creators, if like as and when the time is passing, the number of creators are increasing, and there's so many platforms which are coming up, and therefore in order to optimize these creators, make their life more efficient, make their life better, there'll be a lot of startup companies that will start coming in the market. We'll build a layer on top of these creators so that the efficiency can be brought into the system, and that is where the opportunity lies for you, my friend, right? That is where the opportunity lies for you. So you might not be creator, but you can always build a platform for creator, right? So platform for creators rather. So let us look at some examples. So I have curated a few examples for all of you. Let us start looking at all those examples, right? But before that, if you give me a second, I can open that file for all of you, and then we can move ahead. All right. And meanwhile, we are almost halfway in the session. If you have any questions up till now, please make sure you start posting your questions in chat so that I can start replying to them as and when we finish the conversation, right? So let's look at a few examples. So the number one example is like a very simple default example. All of us know about it. And if you want me to increase the screen size, I can do it for you. So here you go, folks. So on the screen, if you see the very simple example, like everybody knows, the simplest example is the YouTube monetization thing, right? If you see on the screen, on the top right, you have an ad running. On the bottom left, you have ad running. So this is simply how YouTube monetization functions. as a part of creative economy, as a part of subscription economy, this is what you see on the screen. What you're seeing on the screen is basically called a super chat. But the problem with super chat is you need to have a minimum critical mass. I think you need 30,000 followers to unlock membership on your channel. And I think you need to be a partner, be a part of your creator YouTube partner partnership program in order to enable super chat. I might be wrong with those, but at least the minimum benchmark is 1000 subscribers and 4000 watch hours, which you can easily track by going into a partnership program analytical tool inside your channel. And you need 30,000 members or subscribers to unlock the membership model. But other than that, other than this, you can also use, as I said, Patreon or buy me a coffee, right? Another great example, if you're not still using this platform, Clubhouse has recently started monetizing things for their audience. So if you are on Clubhouse, and if you see at the bottom of my screen, send money, Clubhouse has also integrated a model wherein you can support your favorite creator. You can pay to your favorite creator in form of some sort of a tip, and this is a great method to monetize, right? So once again, on that note, if you are on Clubhouse, make sure you go and follow me in Clubhouse as well, and come and join in a few conversations that I do on Clubhouse, right? So now, as I said, let's look at a few case studies which I was talking about. So this is, if you see on the screen, this is what I was talking about when I was talking about the LinkedIn creators, right? There's a dedicated page for LinkedIn creators. They have created this page, and if you see this page, they have basically put everything: optimizing your profile, finding a target audience, know the tools, and content best practices. If you think you're great at writing, if you think you're great at professional writing, if you think you have expertise at the niche, go and start creating your content on LinkedIn, right? Now, let us look at a few startups. As I said, let us look at a few startups, few opportunities, few spaces wherein, which will rather give you an idea about what kind of company you can build. So let me tell you a few examples, and I can, if you want, I can later on put these links in the chat. So 41 startups powering the creators economy. These are not creators, my friend. These are startups that have built their business model on top of creators, right? If this does not blow your mind, I don't know what else will, right? With the creators economy, there's a huge gap, huge problem, huge efficiency that will have to be brought into the system, and startups will be required to optimize all of that. So let's look at a few of them, right? So let me tell you a few names, right? So there's a very famous company called OnlyFans. I don't know if you know about this, but it is a very, very famous company based out of US, where you can subscribe or build a private subscription around your favorite creator. You have company called Beacons, you have company called Brushwalk, you have company called Buy Me a Coffee. This is the one I was talking about. You have another company called Creator Cash, you have another company called Fan House, Feather, Hector, Haywith, Jemmy, Ko-Fi, so on and so forth. There are around 42 companies. I'll not take you through everything. If you want this link, you can either copy this link or note it down right now, or I will maybe put it in the link later on. Prasoon, I can see a comment. I know about OnlyFans. I see. I can't talk about on my live why OnlyFans is so famous, but OnlyFans is a fantastic monetization model. I think you can replicate that model. Forget about the kind of audience that goes there. Forget about the kind of creators who are there. But I think it's a great model of monetization, and I think this is what the entire world is built around. So all those who are curious about OnlyFans, folks, go and watch more about OnlyFans. It's a fantastic monetization model. That is all I can tell you right now, right? So as I was saying about minimum threshold that you need, Patreon is again a great example, and now buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee is a great example. So what you can do is, if you see on the screen, you can simply have your own. You can have your own page on Buy Me a Coffee, and people can donate, or rather give you a tip. If you see this, people can give you a tip from $2 to $5 to $10. People can give you a tip, but it's not limited to Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. There are more alternatives to Patreon, right? So let me give you a few more examples. You have Podia, you have LibraPay, you have Subscribestar, you have Buy Me a Coffee, of course, you have Ko-Fi, right? You have Indiegogo. So this is more or less on a different side, Memberful. So there are enough companies out there. Can you see how big of this space is. And how do these companies make money? When they enable the transaction for the creator, they charge 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, 10%, 20% commission on that entire transaction, right? So if you tomorrow go and build a company where you can monetize, where you can charge some sort of a commission and enable or create a tool for the creator to make himself easily monetizable, you have a huge scope there, right? Let me shift gears here and give you another sort of company that you can build, right? So there's a company called Tag Mango, right? This company uh, enables the creator to create a profile, and you can then take one-on-one private consultation from your favorite creator. In fact, there's another company which is only by invite. It's called Super Peer. In fact, I'm already a creator on SuperPeer, so people can book their consultation calls with me on SuperPeer, right? So if you need one of my time, you can come onto SuperPeer and have a 30-minute 1 hour conversation with me, and it enables me to monetize my knowledge, my skills, my learning. And for the public, I do these AMAs, but when people want one of my time, I either use Calendly and Zoom and monetize it, or I use SuperPeer. So there are enough platforms for you to monetize, right? So again, so the Tag Mango is a lighter version of SuperPeer. If you can look in this, you can ask your favorite creator to review a profile, to talk to you, to do XYZ things for you. So Tag Mango is another great example for creative economy. If you now again push it a tangent above, or escalate this or amplify this, there's a very nice company called Wish, right? Now this company has enabled celebrities, and these are not tier A celebrities, I would say, rather, and I'm not sure how many of you will agree with or disagree with me. These are B grade or A minus grade celebrities, which are famous per se, but they are not like Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan and Tom Cruise of the world, right? And what you can do is you can ask them to record a video message, right? So let us say you are fan of Tanushri Datta, you are fan of Ashmit Patel, so you can reach out to them and ask them to record a happy birthday or a happy anniversary or XYZ video for you, and you can pay X amount of money to these guys, and the platform will take away 10%, 20% commission fee, right? So this is Wish is more of like Tag Mango plus more followers is Wish, or a quasi celebrity status is what Wish is all about, right? Now another method of monetization or a platform creation. So these are startup examples, these are startup case studies I'm giving you. If you don't know about this, you can think of creating one or such business model, and you can start monetizing on the existing creators, right? I know a lot of companies who are now monetizing startup mentors. There's a company called MentorCard, there's a company called Rightways. There are a lot of companies who are into similar space where they're saying we'll monetize the mentors. So many companies are also now into startup space, right? Monetizing the mentors. So the space is huge, huge, guys. Now I'm not sure how many of you know about the Masterclass, but Masterclass is an international company where they create courses by influencers and celebrities, and a similar model has now come in India, right? So you have a company called Front Row. Now, if you look at the guys on the screen, right from your famous rap stars, so Amit Trivedi, Neha Kakkar, Biswa Kalyanrat, look at the guys. These are all celebrities, and they are teaching you how to learn the skill. So skill plus celebrity is maybe the future of learning, future of teaching. And now after hybrid model, because post lockdown everything has gone online, and now people know and the world will not be the same, the learning curve will change for everybody. So there's a company called Front Row, there's another company called uh, I don't know how to pronounce, but Unlu. And look at the kind of courses they have. They have course with Ruskin Bond, they have course with Manoj Bajpayee, they have course with Monali Thakur, they have Sania Mirza, Radhika Karle, Shashank Ketan, Johnny Lever. Look at the kind of companies people are creating. But yes, of course, in order to just get these people on board in the first go, you might need some sort of money or funding, but it's a great model. In fact, there was a company called Mento Learn or Mento by Varun Agarwal, who started this alma mater. He wrote a book, then he started a merchandising company. No, sorry, he started a merchandising company called Alma Mater, then wrote a book, and then created Mento Learn as well. So these are a few methods you can monetize your, or you can build a startup around. So opportunities for you. So let me summarize the entire opportunity space for you and give you a few methods, few tools, few things which will help you to build your startup, right? So let's talk about that. So the number one and the lowest hanging fruit you can have, you can start building a startup around, is any and everything around creator management, right? For example, I as a creator, in fact, I rather I know so many guys. In fact, if I can, if Clive is still there, you can maybe, Clive, can you comment in the chat and let people know you are there. So Clive is a guy who manages LinkedIn for people. In fact, I don't know how many of you know about Cracking the Code, because it was a podcast I used to run, and this podcast was by one of my companies. So it's a company under the radar. We haven't publicized it enough, but this is another company that I run called Onflit. I'm not sure how many of you know about this, but this company is more or less again on the creators economy. So what's stopping you from creating content on social media? And our target audience is basically entrepreneurs, angel investor, thought leaders. So we are already working with quite a few angel investors. Make the screen big here and show it to you. So guys, I already run a company in creators economy, so I know quite a bit about this, but this has been more or less under the radar. So I'm sure most of you would not know about it, but this company is where we create content for a few business owners, angel investors, top leaders, top professionals, and we handle all their content, personal branding, and social media, right? So this is another company that I run, folks. So what you guys can do is you can always start with ghostwriting. You can always start with creating content, managing profiles for creators, and so on and so forth. You can do stuff like this. Then second is you can form a dedicated creator agency, right? Like, now both of them are non-tech, but of course you can build a technology layer later on. So you can always build a scalable model. So creator agency is another opportunity you guys can have. So you don't need to be a creator yourself. You can have an agency which helps another creators to create more content. You can maybe define a niche. You can have a format expertise based on whatever you think. Creator agency is another model for you. Then creators tool. If you are an engineer, a coder, a techie, somebody who's super good with tech, you can always create a tool that makes creators life easy. So creator tool is another great space to leverage in the creators economy, right? And of course, on each of these topics I can give you case studies and I can go really deep, but the idea is to at least give you the broad awareness so that you can start building your content, right? Or your company, right? Or you at least start thinking in those directions, right? Another example is creator platform. I've showed you so many examples around creators platform. You can bring in a creator, ask him to create a course, ask him to monetize his time, ask him to create short courses, long courses. So anything that is like a platform or a marketplace for a creator is another opportunity for you out there. And last but not the least, and the big one, the massive one, is creator content, right? You can build something that or rather help the creator in creating content and anything around it. So these are 5 broad opportunity areas. If you are not a creator, but if you like creators economy, if you want to be a part of creators economy, if you want to jump onto the bandwagon and monetize and build a startup around creators economy, folks, I can assure you this is the future. And the way LinkedIn is shaping up, in fact, I don't know how many of you know about this, but LinkedIn also has something called as LinkedIn Learning. And LinkedIn Learning happened when they acquired this company called lynda.com. There's a company called LYNDA, lynda.com, and they acquired it quite a few years back in a couple of millions of dollars. And then LinkedIn created something called as LinkedIn Learning. So I'm sure LinkedIn LinkedIn also, I'm not sure how many of you know, have you noticed, LinkedIn also does something called as LinkedIn Top Voices and LinkedIn Influencer. So LinkedIn is not just a professional platform. Don't live under the rock. Don't think about this, that LinkedIn is just a professional network platform and only for job seekers. I'm telling you, I can assure you, I can bet you on this. In next 5 years, LinkedIn will be the number one creator platform for professional people. And if you are still not leveraging creator economy in some or the other way, I don't know what else will will you do. So try and write one article if possible. Try and write one video as possible. Try and start as with as little as possible, but make sure you start and you begin from somewhere. So that is all from my side. I hope you found all of this exciting for today. I hope I've already started getting a few questions. So if any of you have any questions, please make sure you drop your question in the live chat. I'll start answering them now. But folks, concluding all of this from my end, I am sure this gave you some sort of a insight. This gave you some sort of awareness. This gave you some sort of inspiration. This gave you some sort of a learning to start your journey as a creator. Start as little as possible. Forget everything. And you don't want to be a creator, but 5 years down the line, the jobs will also be determined by this thing, right? So you will have to establish some sort of a credibility online. And if you don't know about all of this, go and watch the last episode where I spoke about personal branding. It will give you a deeper insight onto this. So that's all from my side, folks. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you're still here, in the comment section, let me know whether you enjoyed the conversation, whether you enjoyed the content that I prepared for you, whether you found it to be worth your time. And on that note, what we will do is we will move on to answering the questions and answers. So thank you so much for being here up till now. All right. So first question I can take from Mukul. I have interest in many things, but how can I find my niche? Also, do I need to be present on every platform available? Mukul, very interesting question. So I can break this question in two parts for all of you guys. And I'm sure this is a question which is which everybody has difficulty in answering when you begin your career or when you are very, very young. So number one, if you are under 25, 26, 27, if you are into that age bracket, I'm sure you have diversified interests. So I'll give you one example from my personal life, and then I hope you will be able to correlate, right? So I have been a basketball player also, and I was a really good player. Rather, I played a couple of times now also, but very, very rarely, like twice or thrice in a year. So I had a lot of interests. I used to dance, I used to paint, I used to play basketball, I used to play cricket, I used to code, I used to design. But over a period of time, as and when you grow in your career, you will have to start canceling on the things which are not not important for you, and also which you are not able to monetize and you don't have huge inclination towards. So eventually I was doing 10 things, but I started canceling one after another, and I was left with 2 to 3 things which I wanted to do for whole of my life. So if you're under 25, explore, do everything, figure out what you're good at, figure out what you're not good at, because this will help you in getting clarity what you're not good at. So I tried learning guitar and I used to suck in that, right? So I at least know what I don't like, right? So under 25, explore everything, then start canceling what you don't like or what you're not good at. And then once you figured out 4, 5, 6 things you're really, really good at, figure out what you can build your career upon. Another great tool of figuring this out, it's again a very cliche tool, but it's a tool called Ikigai, and there's a tool called SWOT analysis. In my idea validation video, I've spoken about both of these tools, so maybe you can go and also learn about these tools. And I think in that video I've given the link of Ikigai as well. So these are great tools, you can explore them. And if you're under 25, explore, and then filter out what you don't want to do, and then focus on to what you want to do. And when you say, and now this is a very different question, when you say do I need to be present on all the platforms, this one question is, I think again it bothers everybody, folks. If I have to answer it in yes and no, the answer is yes, you have to be on the platforms. But if you give me a chance to explain, no, you don't have to be on all the platforms. First of all, the idea is you go and figure out what you are good at. Are you a good, and this is something I also spoke in my last live, go and watch that. Are you good in writing? Are you good in speaking? Are you good in front of a camera? Are you good in terms of writing short form of content? Are you good in writing long form of content like articles? Are you, if you're not comfortable in front of the camera, you can only do audio podcasts or audio thing, or write. I am absolutely great in terms of live. I enjoy coming online. I enjoy doing live. So you rarely find I doing recorded videos, right? So find what is your strength in terms of content creation, and then go all deep into it, right? Once you have aced that one thing, then you build other things around it, and that's basically called content repurposing, right? So if you're good at writing, start writing first, start writing every day for maybe 6 months, and then repurpose that content onto other platforms in other formats. If you are good at videos, start making videos, at least one video, two video a week, and then maybe repurpose it onto other platforms. So being present on every platform is expensive, and is a long term strategy. But in short term, you have to figure out one platform or two platform which you really want to ace. And but LinkedIn is very, very important. Do not underestimate LinkedIn. And a bit about Instagram. And for new folks who don't have following on Instagram, because Instagram is becoming tough, Clubhouse is your platform. Go and follow in Clubhouse as well. So that's all on the Mukul's question. I can now move on to Harshit's question. Guys, any questions? We will be wrapping in next. We are already at a 49-minute mark. We will be wrapping at almost like a 60-minute mark. Any questions? Please make sure you put them in the live chat before that, right? Harshit's question. Sir, I'm running an influencer marketing agency named Hiccup. So Harshit, first of all, good name, great company. How do you see the future of influencer marketing? Harshit, the creator economy is going to boost the the influencer marketing like anything. Earlier, the problem was that influencers were anybody with massive following, which has gone into a very different direction after creators economy, because anybody with even very little following can be an influencer now. So I have only 1,000 people following me, but I am also influencer in my own field and own niche. I don't need 50,000 followers to be called as an influencer. So Harshit, my recommendation to you would be influencer marketing is here to stay. Rather, it will go bigger and bigger in terms of market size. It is here to stay. It will grow by leaps and bounds. But don't just think on the lines of traditional influencer marketing company. Start thinking on the lines of creator, subscription, shared economy. Think on those lines, and I'm sure you will be able to find a right niche for yourself, right? I hope, Harshit, that answers your question, right? Another question from Harshit is, we're also building a SaaS product for creators to build, manage, and grow their personal brand on the internet as a creator. What are some big pain points for you, or any suggestions for the platform? So Harshit, I think it's a very specific question. In fact, it will be unfair to answer this question here, because I really will have to look at your platform in order to give you advice onto your platform. But if you ask me what is my problem, see, my biggest problem is that uh, although many people want to learn, they don't get time to learn. And if you can somehow break my content into micro pieces and serve my audience, that will be great. But again, it is very, very subjective. I think I will also have to think about it. I might have to spend one-on-one time with you. Feel free to reach out to me. We can take this offline. But it will be really unfair to give you a deeper insight at this point in time. So I'll pass this in detail at this point in time. Last question is from Tilak Raj Rajkumar. What about a startup which provides service to restaurants, cafe, cloud kitchen of vegetable and grocery at their doorstep and wholesale price? So Rajkumar, I'm not sure. How do you like? Do you call yourself as Tilak Raj? I'll call you Tilak Raj. So Tilak Raj, this is a very old idea. So I still remember when I was conceptualizing my first company back in 2010 10 with one of my friends. We were trying to build a similar company in B2C space, and flip sorry and your Grofers, your Dunzo, your Big Basket, and now even Amazon is is in similar space. Uh, from a B2B point of view, it's a good idea. It's a great business. I know so many back-end vendors and suppliers who supply vegetables, grocery, and other things to your restaurants, cafe, and cloud kitchen. The only catch is, currently I'm not sure if anybody has been able to scale it by leaps and bounds, for a very simple reason that this is a very geographical, subjective company, right? You need to be a expert into the local space and need to have good connections. So it's a good business. It's a great dhanda to be in. It will make money for you. It will mint money for you. It's a very early sustainable business. You can just have 5 restaurants on board, or 5 or 10 cloud kitchens on board, and you can start making money. Rather, you can become profitable really, really early. But it is not a it is not a startup that can scale by leaps and bounds. It will not become a unicorn, but a great business idea to be in. In fact, a lot of people have figured out niche in this space as well. So a lot of people say that we will give you organic vegetables. A lot of people say we'll give you, uh, uh, you know, uh, hydroponic vegetables, so on and so forth. People have figured out, tried and figured out, create a niche in that. So that is also doable. uh, but yeah, it's not a it's not, it cannot become a unicorn if you, so it, or rather it will not become a million or $1 billion company, but it's a great business to be in. So if you want to start, and maybe who knows, if you start this business and if you're able to build the first layer of operations, first layer of monetization, you can always then find more problems and more troubles and build on top of it. So you can always do that. So jump in, start building this business. It's a great idea. Harshit has a comment. Thanks for answering my question. I would like to discuss the concept with offline in detail. All right, Harshit, you know me, and you know where to reach out to me. So feel free to reach out. More than happy to help. And on that note, we're already on a 54-minute mark. I can't see any more questions coming in. I'll give you 10, 20 more seconds to kind of send your questions, or else we will wrap the conversation, folks. And I hope you have enjoyed the conversation up till now, and I hope you learned something new today. So 10 more seconds before you send me your questions, or else we can then wrap the conversation, right? Mm, all right. So I can't see any more questions coming in. All right. So on that note, folks, let's wrap. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode. This was 38th episode of AMA with DNK, opportunities for startups in creators economy. I've got one more question. I'll pick that up. Okay, folks, 10 more seconds. We finish right before 60-minute marks. Prakash has a question. Thank you, Prakash, for your question. I will pin and answer it for you. Can we have a community around SaaS products? Absolutely, Prakash. If you are somebody who's trying to build a community around SaaS products, we're looking for SaaS enthusiasts. You can start with as little as a WhatsApp group or a Discord. WhatsApp group and Telegram, and then you can jump onto creating a Discord group. You can start maybe a YouTube channel or a content space or Instagram page wherein you can collect SaaS product enthusiasts, and maybe you can start the conversation on Clubhouse for this as well. I see so many people talking on Clubhouse around SaaS, around tech products. So jump into a few of those conversations, and I'm sure you will find like-minded people who would want to talk about SaaS products. So yes, it's a great model. And then what you do for them on top of it is basically when you monetize. So ladies and gentlemen, all those who are watching, if you don't know, I run something called the Power Camp. So Power Camp is a month-end workshop where I coach and train entrepreneurs on how to create pitch decks and financial model. And because these people come and pay me the amount of money, they become a part of my community. So these people are a part of a private members group, which is my community, which I monetize, and I give them a lot of value. So you can always find your niche, see how much value can you give back to the people, and then you can always monetize. So absolutely anything can be monetized, and community is a great method. In fact, if you want to learn more onto community, I think I've done a video on startups and importance of community. I can tell you what episode that was. So maybe you can watch that video later on as well. Give me a second to tell you about that video as well. Yeah, it was episode number 20th. Importance of startup communities. Prakash, if you're still here, go and watch that video. It will give you a lot of insights about how can you build a community as a startup and around startups, and what are the opportunities out there, and then chip in the fundamentals of creators economy, and boom, you have a subscription based community which you can monetize as always, right? All right, folks, let's end this. Let's finish this. All right. So on that note, thank you so much everybody for joining me on this episode of AIM with DNK. This was episode number 38, opportunities for startups and creators economy. I hope you learned something new today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope you liked the conversation. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. If you haven't liked the video, please make sure you like the video. Your like, your subscribe, your comment is the value for me, is what tells me that this is worthwhile. And make sure you go and follow me on other social media platforms as well. Make sure you go and follow me on Clubhouse, Instagram, LinkedIn, and other channels. Stay in touch, and I will see you in the next episode, in 39th episode. And this month, or rather July 4th, we finish 1 year of this YouTube channel. So there's something big coming on the way. I'm still planning, but there'll be something great for all of you. And we rather would have a Zoom chit chat as well, right? On that note, thank you so much. And folks, please take care of your health, stay safe, stay at homes, stay blessed, and please take care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me, and good night. Have a great weekend, and thank you so much for everybody. Bye bye, and take care. Thank you.